Next up at UFC 284, we have Justin Tafa taking on Parker Porter. Justin Tafa.
Disclaimer.
We don't need a disclaimer.
Justin
Tafa, 5-3 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's fighting Parker Porter, 13-7 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. Listen, Jacob's calling for a disclaimer because I know Parker personally. We're friends in real life. Here's the reality of it. Even if I separate myself from that situation, Parker Porter beats Justin Tafa. I know, I've made this analogy before. For some reason, Parker became the Nickelback of MMA cap shows. Everybody thinks that it's funny and, oh, Parker, let's make jokes. I actually don't understand that because Parker Porter has actually an okay UFC record. He put together 3 solid wins and his only 2 losses. One are to Jonathan Almeida, who might literally be the heavyweight champion by the end of this year. And then the other UFC loss was a short notice loss on a week's notice to Chris Dawkins after Parker had a 1-week-old child, got the call, you want to go to the UFC, not training for a camp, nothing. He's like, yeah, of course. And then he put together 3 wins. The reason, and here's the bias aside, the reason I like Parker to win this fight, if we think about who Justin is, Justin's a heavy-handed striker, right? We haven't really seen him defend any takedowns. We haven't seen him get any takedowns. He's a heavy-handed striker. Doesn't move much, just big power, big chin. That's it. That's Justin Tafa. What we also saw happen is he got smoked by Jared Vanderaa. Jared Vanderaa beat the piss out of Justin Tafa. Jared Vanderaa is no longer in the UFC. No longer there. He couldn't beat anybody except Justin Tafa. And how did he beat Justin? Just stay in his face. Jabs, 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 jabs. Just stay in his face. Parker Porter literally set the heavyweight significant strike record. He set that record. And then he broke his own heavyweight significant strike record. Parker Porter is all volume. And he could do it for 15 minutes. He can dance around. He's got solid footwork. Stay in his face. If he wants to grapple, I imagine he can take Justin down. Justin's got massive thighs, so he may have really good takedown defense. Really don't know.
He's bigger.
I like Parker Porter to win this fight. That is an objective breakdown. I saw people in the comments, oh, FYI, he picked Parker to beat Jalton. Listen. He's my actual friend. And frankly, that was 3 Jalton Almeida fights ago before we knew what Jalton Almeida actually was. We know what Justin Tafa is. We know what he is. And he's a punching bag. And Parker Porter's going to touch and go the same way that Jared Vanderaa did, just that with better footwork, and he can work in grappling if he wants. So you guys can make jokes and do all that bullshit, but that's 100% sincere breakdown. What do you think?
I will give the actual unbiased breakdown. So if you didn't agree with that, that's fine. Listen to what I'm telling you right now. Justin Tafa, people are acting like this dude is knocking out everybody that he fights. Oh my God, you're going to fight Justin Tafa? Oh, you're getting knocked out. You're getting knocked out. Nobody fights Justin Tafa and doesn't get knocked out. He knocked out Juan Adams in the UFC. That's it. That's the only person he's knocked out. He just lost, as Angel mentioned, to Vanderaa, and then he comes through and knocks out Harry Hunsucker. It's Harry Hunsucker. We just were talking about him with Tyson Pedro. I mean, that's the guy that you give to a guy to get knocked out. So, yeah, he knocked out Harry Hunsucker. So you think that just because he loses to Vanderaa, he knocks out Harry Hunsucker, that all of a sudden, oh, my God, Tafa just knocking out everyone. It is the most asinine thought process that these people have in their head that this guy just is just knocking out everyone. He's not knocking out anyone except for people that are absolute bums that get knocked out by everybody. Greg Hardy knocked out Juan Adams. Anyone can knock out these people that Justin Tafa's knocking out. When he gets against people that actually know what the fuck they're doing in these fights, he doesn't win. He doesn't win. He's 5-3. Parker Porter knows what he's doing in this fight. He is the better overall fighter. He has the wrestling. He has the volume. Tafa can sit back there with that right hand cocked ready to go, but I doubt it lands. Obviously, if it does land, Parker Porter could get knocked out. I'm not playing Parker Porter with my money, but I'm saying he is the better overall fighter, and people to act like he's not you're stupid. I'm looking at you. You're stupid if you don't think he's the better overall fighter. You are absolutely stupid. I'm picking Parker Porter as well.
Thank you. No, I'm with you. Listen, I got Parker Porter at plus 125. I put a half a unit on him. Premium members, you have seen that bet there for a week or so. I got him at plus 125. He is now plus 101. You lost 25% of that line. You lost 25% of that line in the last.
It's actually, I just checked it again. You know what it's at right now?
Is he a minus?
Plus 100.
It's inching down. So you have officially lost 25% of the, actually 33%. No, 25%. Never mind. Dummy. Even that math is wrong.
I think it's 80%.
That math is wrong. Anyway, you lost 25 points on the line. If you were a premium member, you would have seen that bet when we put it up, and you shouldn't be just tailing bets blindly, but the logic was there, the raw notes are there, all of that is there for premium members to break down, see, and jump on. This line Parker will probably be a slight favorite, because as soon as Justin's an underdog, the line will go back. This line will just keep doing this, because it is heavyweights, and you're not going to go wild. I'm very confident in the half a unit at plus 125. I like that quite a bit. I like Parker at $700-800 in DraftKings as well. Obviously, it's heavyweights. He can get knocked out. Anything can happen here, but I think he's going to be busy. I think he's going to put in work. He could potentially get takedowns. There's going to be a lot of volume, and he's at a sub 8,000 price point where Justin's only chance is a one-punch knockout, but Parker has solid footwork and can move around. What do you think about the DraftKings?
Yeah, and I don't understand this whole Parker's got poor fight IQ. When is it? I don't know. Is there an example of that where it's like he's been winning fights? He won 3 in a row, and then he lost to Almeida. He got immediately picked up and slammed. What's he supposed to do? That's not bad fight IQ. The guy's just dominant fight. I don't know if there was a fight where it's like, oh my God, this guy. Just like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Even in the loss to Chris Dawkins. And if you, I interviewed Parker on the channel last year, or year and a half.
I think
ago.
it's literally somebody just reads that, and then that's just what they assume. Like somebody read it in a chat somewhere about or they heard one person say it, and they're like, oh, definitely, without watching that's all this is. People just repeat everything that they think is fact, and most of it's just fucking stupid.
Even, Parker, in his loss to Chris Dawkins, when they were standing next to each other, they talked to each other behind the ref's back real quick. And I asked him, what did you guys say? And he was like, Chris told me that was the hardest leg kick he's ever been kicked with. And his leg is like bright red, and it's like a mess. So Parker,
both their thighs you mentioned the thigh size. That is going to be a thing in this fight. It is going to be a sight to see the size of both of these men's thighs. It is incredible. Incredible. I'm talking, it is. Okay.
And these are heavyweight fighters, so literally anything can happen. So the moron who shows up on Sunday, I get it, man. It's heavyweights, and it's a fist fight. Literally anything can happen. But we're both on Parker, pretty confident in that, at least as confident as you can be in two striking.
And there's comment right there. After Tafa hold on, let me get in the, after Tafa wins, don't get quiet then, Jacob and Angelo. Listen, we just said that it's heavyweight fights. Anything can happen. Nobody's saying that Parker Porter is a fucking lock, you idiot.
Stephen Ferry did.
Oh. Steven, if you want to go after anyone, that's the guy right there. That's the guy, not us. We're not saying he's a fucking lock. He's just the better fighter. And if
100%.
you're not picking the better fighter, I don't know what you're doing.
No, 100%.